Now that you are familiar with the It's My Space content, it's time to talk about how you will actually implement the program in your school. In this section, you will learn about how to talk with your school about the program requirements, the program implementation timeline, how to schedule training dates, logistical components that must be worked out before implementation, and your next steps after you complete this training. Starting with program requirements, to effectively implement the It's My Space curriculum, all classroom sessions must be implemented in their original form. It is important that no classroom sessions are skipped or combined into one session. Additionally, the core content in the curriculum cannot be changed, except for places where the curriculum specifies. It is important to communicate with your school that all classroom sessions must be implemented as they are written in the curriculum. The second main program requirement is that the school begins to utilize the Respecting Boundaries Agreement as a way to deal with low-level boundary violations that happen among students. The Respecting Boundaries Agreement is a form that students can fill out to report when they have experienced a boundary violation or when they have seen a boundary violation happen. These forms should be located in accessible areas of the school. You'll need to work with your school to determine those areas and ensure RBA forms are regularly stocked in those areas. You will also need to work with your school to determine where students can turn in completed forms and which staff member or members are in charge of following up with students when they report boundary violations. These staff members should be trusted adults who are trained in having difficult conversations with students, like guidance counselors, family resource youth services coordinators, principals, or other relevant staff. These decisions should be made prior to implementation of the classroom curriculum, as you will need to inform students of where the RBA forms will be located and who is in charge of the process during program implementation. There's a section of the It's My Space appendix document that outlines the expectations of the school and school staff in regard to the Respecting Boundaries Agreement. The third main program requirement for It's My Space is completion of the hotspot mapping activity. Hotspot mapping is part of Class 4 in all grades, so it's easy to ensure that part of the activity is completed. However, getting students to color the maps is just the first step. If we don't do anything with the information students provide, nothing in the school actually changes, and the school is not safer. That's why, once students complete the hotspot mapping activity, you must look at the data they provide and create a report for your school, identifying places where students feel safe and unsafe. This report will help guide conversations with your school to determine how to change the school environment to make it safer. It's important to communicate to the school that by committing to the It's My Space program, they are committing to making changes to the school environment to make it safer. Those environmental changes are crucial because otherwise nothing will change to make students safer. These main program requirements, among others, are included in the Memorandum of Understanding you must discuss with your school and have them sign. Presenting and discussing the Memorandum of Understanding is the perfect time to make sure your school understands the program requirements and what will be expected of them before beginning program implementation. As a reminder, the MOU is not legally binding, but it does outline expectations for both you and the school and is a way for you to both agree on shared expectations. Now that we have gone over the main program requirements, we will talk more in depth about training logistics.